Hey, Claire, sorry to bother you on your business trip, but there's something important we need to talk about.
Hi, Colleen. It's nice to hear from you. I feel like we haven't talked in ages. What can I do for you?
You know the house that you guys bought recently?
Yeah, I know the house. I bought it after all. What about it?
Actually, the other day I took my son Caden along and stopped by.
You stopped by? As in, you went to look at it?
What would be the point of that? We've seen a picture. No, we went inside.
You did? How?
You gave my mom a spare key, didn't you?
Spare key?
Yeah, we used that key to open the door and drop in.
I see. Why did you go in the house?
You're out of town on business, aren't you? We thought we'd do you the favor of taking a look around to make sure nothing was damaged or stolen.
Oh, well, thank you for being so considerate. You didn't need to do that, though. Is that all you wanted to tell me?
No, actually. While we were visiting the house, there was a little problem.
A problem? Could you please be more specific?
The house burned down.
What?
The new house that you bought burned down.
I saw your first text. The house burned down?
Yes, I'm afraid it did. My boy Caden loves fireworks, you see. While we were looking around, he all of a sudden wanted to set off a few of the ones we bought earlier in the day, so I let him.
Colleen, there's not enough space at that house to be launching fireworks. I'd have to check the local regulations, but I'm pretty sure it's illegal.
I'm no lawyer, so you'll have to ask an expert about the legalities. But you're absolutely right about there not being enough space. I thought you would have a decent-sized yard, but that little thing was barely even a patch of grass. I was afraid of what would happen if we hit one of the neighbors' houses. So, keeping safety in mind, I decided to let him set the fireworks off inside the house instead.
Inside? How is that safe?
I was careful not to hit any of the furniture or walls. But I guess Caden must have thrown one in the trash before it went out completely because while we were walking away, all of a sudden the house burst into flames. Oh, but don't worry. Me and Caden are totally fine.
Yes. How wonderful.
I'm sorry about that, Claire. Kids, right? Boys will be boys and all that. I know you won't hold it against him. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your business trip.
Hold it right there, Colleen. You can't just drop that bomb on me and walk away. This conversation is not over. I just bought that house a few weeks ago, and you burned it down. You're going to have to take responsibility for this.
Excuse me? You want me to take responsibility for something a child did?
Colleen, you burned down an entire house.
How many times do I have to tell you? I didn't do it. My son Caden did. I know someone who has never had kids wouldn't know this, but let me fill you in on a secret. Kids make mistakes.
Kids make mistakes would fly if we were talking about a broken window or something. But this is on an entirely different level. I keep saying this because I'm still in shock, but Colleen, you and your son burned down a house.
Oh, and before you ask, just because you don't have a house anymore doesn't mean you can stay with my parents. There's just no space for you guys here since me and Caden are living with my mom and dad.
This can't be happening.
I don't know, if you think about it, I bet there's a perfectly good reason for it to be happening. Like, for example, the most likely explanation of divine punishment.
Divine punishment? Divine punishment for what? Exactly what have I done to merit God going out of his way to burn down a house?
You're shirking off a woman's sacred responsibility to have children. And you don't even do much housework either. You spend all your time at your job. And yet you have the nerve to go and buy a big fancy house for yourself? That's worth at least having your house burned down, probably more.
That doesn't even make a bit of sense.
You know what would be sensible? You and my brother downsizing and moving into a smaller apartment. Maybe if you spent more time in contact with each other, you might actually make a kid or two. Oh, but I guess your hopes of getting pregnant at your age are pretty slim, aren't they? Anyway, you should probably look online for a new house to live while you're out of town. You don't want to be homeless when you get back, right? Okay, gotta go. Talk to you later, Claire.
Good morning, Sally. I hope I'm not bothering you, but do you have a minute?
For my favorite daughter-in-law, of course.
I'm your only daughter-in-law, but thank you.
Oh, weren't you out of town on business right now?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, you really are a workaholic, you know that. And I mean that in a good way. It makes me proud to see a woman doing her best to leave her mark in the business world.
Oh, Sally, really, I'm nothing special. The only reason I'm able to focus on my work so much is all your help.
Oh, I haven't done all that much for you. But then you went and bought that house. Now that is incredible.
Actually, that house is what I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh, is something the matter with it?
I got a text from Colleen a little while ago, and I know this may come as a shock, but the house was burned down.
Burned down? As in it's gone? Oh, what on earth happened?
Colleen and her son happened. They went to visit the house together to look around, according to Colleen, and they started a fire.
And that fire was what burned down the house? Oh, you must be joking.
Honestly, Sally, I really wish that I was joking. To be fair, though, I haven't actually confirmed what she told me myself. She literally just texted me about it a few minutes ago, and I thought I should let you know as soon as possible.
But I don't understand. How did Colleen get in the house?
Apparently, she used the key that I gave you.
Oh, that girl. What has she gone and done this time?
That's what I'd like to know. My next order of business is to contact the police department to see if what she said about the house is true. I have to say, though, Colleen didn't seem the least bit sorry when I talked to her. If anything, it was like she was rubbing it in my face.
I don't know if I told you, but the reason she's back living with us is because her ex-husband ditched her. And ever since then, it's like she's taken every opportunity possible to badmouth you to us. I don't know what it is, but I think she has it in for you over something.
You might be right, but her reasons for hating me aren't going to change the facts on the ground. Someone has to pay for this.
Of course. But the first step is to simply find out what on earth happened.
My thoughts exactly. I'll have it looked into.
Please do, dear, and let me know if there's anything I can do to help you out. You've already done so much for us already.
I'm glad to do whatever I can for you, so you don't need to feel bad about anything. Hello again, Colleen. Welp, I just got a call from the fire department a little while ago, and it's just like you said. The house was burned to a crisp. A total loss.
Why did you bother talking to them when I already told you everything you needed to know? You should be finding a new house for yourself.
So I guess you have absolutely no intentions to apologize to me then?
Excuse me? Apologize? Are you telling me you expect an apology over what happened to the house?
What happened to the house was that the entire thing burned to the ground. So yeah, I think that does merit an apology, don't you?
I have never, in all my life, met such a heartless, soulless monster as you. Have you forgotten that this is a child that we're talking about? Caden is only 8 years old. Are you going to make an 8-year-old boy get on his hands and knees and beg you for forgiveness?
I'm aware that, according to you, Caden was possibly responsible for starting the fire. I'm also aware that, depending on their age, children can't be held responsible for all of their actions. However, I am further aware that in the event a child cannot be held responsible for their actions, the responsibility falls to their parents. I think that goes without saying.
I don't believe this. Now you're saying you want me to apologize for something I didn't even do? Caden is the one who started the fire, not me. I had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Are you listening to yourself? You have a child, Colleen. Think about the influence your behavior right now will have on Caden.
What did you say? Listen, you barren busybody. I don't want to hear any critiques on my parenting from a woman who has never even given birth. You are such a pompous, stuck-up Karen, always bragging about your successful career and looking down on me.
I have been aware for quite some time that you're jealous of my lifestyle. What is it about the fact that I have a career that's so offensive to you?
I'll have you know that I quit my job because I had to take care of my child and my home. You never had any of that to deal with, so you can quit rubbing it in my face. You want to impress me? Try changing a diaper.
Oh, please. I've never rubbed it in your face.
And just for the record, if Caden had never been born, I would have kept working in my old job. And by this point, I would be way more successful and make infinitely more money than you are now.
Seriously, listen to yourself. You're still blaming everything on your child. Would you knock that off already? I'm starting to feel sorry for poor Caden.
You keep my son's name out of your filthy little mouth, Claire. I don't ever want to speak to you again. Go and find a new house as far away from us as possible. And one more thing, you are never allowed to visit my parents again. Ever. You are not a member of this family, and you never will be.
You've crossed the line, Colleen. I have tried so many times to get you to see reason, but you still refuse to take responsibility for yourself. Well, fine, be that way. But I'm not going to sit back and let you get away with this. I just got a picture of the house from the neighbors. Well, what's left of it anyway. It really is completely gone. It's like there was never a house there to begin with.
Yeah, I'll bet. You should have seen the flames. It was a roaring inferno. So you get it now, right? Your house is gone. Find a new one in another country would be great. And tell that to my brother, too, while you're at it.
It's really a shame.
Yeah, for you. It's not my problem in the least.
You think I'm the one who's the most hurt by this? I feel bad for your mom and dad. They were really excited about that house.
My parents? Why are you dragging them into this?
Why wouldn't they feel down? That was the house that I had bought especially for them.
What? What are you talking about? I thought that was your house. It is your house, right?
No, it's not. My husband and I have our own house. No, we bought this house to give it to your parents. We had planned for them to be able to spend the rest of their lives in that house, so it was fully equipped with everything senior citizens could need. The whole house is wheelchair accessible. There's a health monitor system set up in every room in case of falls. It's basically got everything a nursing home would provide for them.
No way. I mean, why would you buy them a house? They already have one.
Not for long. They were planning to move really soon. They already found an owner for the land, so they were going to have the house demolished within the next few weeks. You mean to tell me you didn't notice?
Well, now that you mention it, I guess they have been packing a lot of their stuff into boxes lately.
But that effort all went to waste, sadly. I mean, they have no house to move into anymore. Now we're going to have to find them a temporary residence until we decide what to do next.
This is all a lie, isn't it? You're trying to trick me. It's not going to work.
Sorry to say, but I'm being completely honest right now. I could hear your mom's heart break through my phone when I texted her the news about the fire.
No, I don't believe it. That can't be true.
If you won't take my word for it, why don't you ask your mom yourself? She'll tell you I'm telling the truth. Anyway, I'm far too busy to be wasting time talking to you. I have a ton of paperwork to do thanks to you.
Whatever. Fine, I'll go talk to my mom right now, and I know she's going to tell me you're full of it.
Whatever you say, Colleen.
Hey, Mom, we need to talk. Did you hear that Claire's new house burned down? I did, Colleen. Thanks to you, I won't be moving into that beautiful house anymore. What the? No, it wasn't me. It was Caden. Still making excuses, are we? Let's just set that aside for now, okay? Claire told me that she was giving that house to you guys, but that's not true, is it? Like, she's making that all up, right? And what makes you think she would lie about that? Well, I mean, think about it. She's not even a family member. Why would an outsider like her go out of her way to buy you guys a house? You may not consider her to be part of our family, but Claire disagrees. In fact, if you ask her, I'm sure she would tell you that she sees us as every bit her own family. Wait, so then she's telling the truth? That's right. Claire bought that house as a gift for your father and I. You know how old our house is, don't you? It's starting to fall apart at the seams. Something new breaks just about every week lately. And we're not getting any younger, so there's a limit to the things that your father can fix by himself. So Claire decided to start saving up money in order to buy that house for us. There's no way she just did that out of the kindness of her heart. She must want something from you in return. You mean you think she had some ulterior motive? Obviously, yeah. That's the only way what she did would make sense. Why would she give you a whole frickin' house? Claire tells us it's to pay us back. Pay you back for what? You see, Claire's father runs a business that fell into major trouble a while ago, and he ended up deep in debt to keep it afloat. Not only that, one day he signed everything over to her and vanished, leaving her responsible to pay off his debts. What? Well, what about her mom? She died when Claire was very young. She doesn't even remember her face or voice. So Claire was betrayed by the only parent she ever knew, and then abandoned. She's been working herself to the bone in order to pay it all back. That continued even after she married your brother. She was spending all her time working and doing the housework. We couldn't stand seeing her struggle like that, so we decided to help her. Your father and I talked it over, and we offered to pay off her debt for her." "You what? You did all that for someone who's not even your own daughter?" "Claire has always been sweet and kind to us ever since we first met. She may not be our biological daughter, but your father and I love her dearly. And even after we paid off her debts, she continued working just as hard as before. She paid us back every cent that we paid for her. In addition, she wanted to show us her appreciation by buying that house for us." "No way. That's insane. I don't believe it." "I was thrown back too. After all, she'd already paid us back in full, and now she wants to buy us a house on top of it? Oh, I felt terrible accepting it. But she said that nothing would make her happier than to do this for us, and insisted. And now all of that hard work was for nothing, thanks to you." "Mom, wait, don't get the wrong idea, okay? It's not like I burned down the house on purpose or anything. It wasn't even my fault at all. Caden's the one who did it." "Tell me, Colleen, whose decision was it to go to that house?" "Well, Caden said he wanted to see it." "I see. Caden's fault again, is it? If that's the case, why did you go without telling me anything? The key to that house was on my key ring, which I keep on my dresser. It seems to me that you wanted to see it. You should have asked me to come along. But no, you stole the key and went on your own. Why is that, Colleen?" "Because you seemed like you were busy with other stuff. I didn't want to bother you." "Was I too busy for you to ask me for permission to use my key? Be honest, you were deliberately hiding it from me, weren't you?" "No, that's not true." "You can deny it if you like, but as far as I'm concerned, you're no longer any daughter of mine." "What? Mom, what are you saying?" "You have no idea how hard Claire worked or how much she sacrificed to buy that house for us. All the late nights and early mornings she was working her life away, all because she wanted to do this act of kindness for us. And then you came along and trampled all over her feelings and ours. No one who would so coldly do a thing like that is welcome in my house. This is the end for you, Colleen. Never come back to our house again. You are dead to us." "No, Mom, you can't do this. I won't let you." "You can't stop me. My mind is made up. And I don't care to talk to you about this or anything else anymore. Erase my number from your phone because I won't answer any more calls or texts from you." "Look what you've done to me. Thanks to you, my parents are kicking me out of their house. They're disowning me."
What I've done to you? Sorry, Colleen, but your relationship with your parents has nothing to do with me.
"Yes, it does. This is all your fault. If you hadn't kept it a secret that you were really buying that house for my parents, then..."
Then what, Colleen? What would you have done differently if I told you? You would have no doubt told me that I had no right to give such a gift to your parents, am I right? You probably would have accused me of trying to show you up, too.
"I wouldn't have said anything like that."
It's not like I'm doing this to show off or anything. It didn't concern you, so I didn't tell you. That's all. Oh, but that's not what you were about to say, was it? You were about to say, then I wouldn't have burned down the house. Isn't that right?
"No, that's not true at all. But that's not important right now. What about my parents? Where are they going to live now? They've already sold the land, right? So they'll have to move no matter what."
You don't need to worry about them. My husband already found the two of them a nice apartment. He's talking to them about it right now.
"Oh, okay. And, what about me?"
Like I know. Go find your own place to live, preferably somewhere far, far away from here.
"But you don't understand. I can't live on my own. My jerk husband abandoned me and left me with nothing. I have nowhere to go."
I fail to see how that's my problem or my responsibility. You're a big girl. Take care of your own problems. If you hadn't burned that house down, then you might have been able to live there with them, but that possibility went up in smoke.
Okay, I get it. You win. I'll have Caden come and apologize to you. So can you please let us stay in your house for just a little while? That's what you wanted, isn't it? An apology?
What I want right now is for you to stop blaming your child for every last one of your actions.
My actions? I don't know what you mean.
The police called me just before you texted me. They told me their investigation was already complete.
They did? And, what did they say, out of curiosity?
It seems the fire started in the garbage. One of the fireworks you used wasn't completely out when you threw it away. That was a spark that lit the flame that resulted in the whole house burning down.
Oh, then it's exactly like I told you.
Not exactly. It seems that you weren't aware of this, but that house has a state-of-the-art security system. There are cameras on the front porch, the deck, the back door, and inside each and every room. That means we could see your every move for as long as you were inside.
There were cameras?
I told you. Their intent was to detect falls, but they activate with any movement. We have a video that's now in police custody of you and Caden in the kitchen. He never touched a single firework. You lit about 10 sparklers, immediately set them down in the garbage can, then grabbed Caden by the hand and ran out. You didn't even wait for them to go out or anything. You know what that means?
It means that I made a mistake, that's all.
No, it means that you deliberately set that fire. You wanted to burn my house down.
No, I didn't. You're just making things up.
I'm not making it up. That's what the detective on the case told me personally. It seems they're working on issuing a warrant for your arrest as we speak.
They're gonna arrest me? But I didn't do anything. It was all Caden's idea. He made me light those sparklers.
If you think that excuse is so good, go ahead and tell it to the judge and see what he thinks. But in the meantime, this is actually great news for you.
How is this anything but terrible news?
You were worried about having a place to live, right? Well, then you're in luck. You're going to have free accommodations for the next 15 to 20 years.
No, they can't make me go to jail. I don't want to get arrested.
Well, it's like it or not. You're going to receive a less than pleasant visit from the boys in blue in the near future. I would suggest you do as they say and go quietly. You don't want to add any extra time to your already lengthy prison sentence, do you? Oh, and don't worry about Caden. He'll be living with us while you're preoccupied with the criminal justice system.
Hello there, Claire. It's been a while, huh?
Wow, Colleen. They let you out of prison?
Yeah, they did. It's been a long 2 years.
Is that really all they stuck you with? You should count yourself lucky. If it were arson, you would have been looking at least 5 years. I guess your lawyer must have arranged for you to plead down to reckless burning then?
Yes, he said that was my best possible option, but that's not really what I want to talk about right now.
Oh, yeah? Well, then why are you contacting me? Don't tell me. You're not going to ask me to let you live with us, are you?
Heavens no, I would never dream of doing that. No one came to visit me while I was in jail. Not you, not my brother, not even my parents or any other family members. So I'm more than aware of how you all feel about me anymore. I've decided that I'm going to stand on my own 2 feet from now on.
I see. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
I was a pretty impressive businesswoman myself, you know. If I'd kept on working, then I would be making at least the same amount you make right now. It's just that things happen, you know? Things like getting pregnant. If not for that...
I hate to interrupt the stream of consciousness, but what did you want to talk to me about?
It's about Caden.
While
I've been in jail, you and my brother have been taking care of Caden for me, haven't you?
That's right. I told you we'd take good care of him, and I kept my word.
And I'm very appreciative of that. If not for you, he would have been shoved into some sort of foster care nightmare. But that's all over with now. I'm out of jail. I'm coming to pick up my son now. I'm taking him back to live with me from now on.
I'm afraid I can't let you do that.
What? You're not going to give my son back to me? What are you saying, Claire?
My husband, your parents and I have been talking since you've been in jail about what would be best for Caden's future. We decided that we can't allow him to go back to living with you.
You're out of your mind. You have no right to keep my son away from me. He's my son. Just because you never had any kids of your own doesn't mean you can just steal mine away from me. I will never let you keep him from me. Do you hear that?
I hear you, Colleen. I thought you'd say that. But it's like I said, this is the best thing for Caden's future.
What's best for his future? You think ripping him away from his loving mother is what's best for his future?
Loving? You never loved him, not even once. For starters, if you had, then you would never have tried to make him the fall for your crime.
What?
I told you, we saw everything, and we heard it all too. Caden didn't want to do fireworks inside the house. He was scared. He wanted to do it outside. But you dragged him into the kitchen, kicking and screaming, while you put those sparklers in the garbage. Then, when all was said and done, you pushed all of the blame for the fire onto him. So no, I don't think you're a very loving mother at all, and I will never let you have Caden back.
That's not true. I mean, I didn't intend to do that anyway.
You lied to me, Colleen. Everything you said about what happened that day was a lie. And just so you know, Caden feels absolutely awful about what happened. He had to sit by and watch while the flames got bigger and hotter. It was terrifying for him. He actually feels like it was partially his fault, just for being there. You've caused him an unspeakable amount of emotional pain. Parents are supposed to protect their children, but you used Caden as a human shield.
I didn't mean to.
And furthermore, we're honoring Caden's wishes by keeping him from you.
You can't mean.
That's right. Caden doesn't want to live with you anymore. He's already 10 years old. He's attending an elementary school close to our house, and he's loving every day. He may not be at the age of emancipation yet, but he's old enough to make decisions for himself. We asked him multiple times about where he wants to go, and he answered the same way every time. He wants to stay with us. We talked to your ex-husband too, but he's remarried now and says he doesn't want a kid from his past marriage to interfere with his current one. Nice guy you married, huh, Colleen? So that means it falls to us to take care of him, and that's a burden we'll gladly bear. So don't come around interfering in his life any longer.
You can't be serious. This means that I've lost everyone. I'm all alone.
That's exactly right. And more importantly, it's all your fault too. So you have no choice but to accept the consequences of your actions. If you want to live the rest of your life working to make amends for all the people you've hurt with your callous selfishness. Hi there, Sally. I wanted to let you know Colleen got out of prison today.
Oh my goodness, she did?
Yeah, she texted me a little while ago. She told me she wanted to take Caden back from us.
Oh, that foolish little girl. After all she's done to that poor boy. I'm so terribly sorry, Claire. Colleen is my daughter and my responsibility. I must have spoiled her too much.
No, please, Sally, don't apologize. All of this is entirely on Colleen's shoulders. And it isn't just me who says that either. My husband, and even Caden all think the same way. And besides, I'm your daughter too. And I turned out pretty well, wouldn't you say?
Yes, that's right, Claire. You are every bit my daughter, and I am very proud of you.
Are you guys busy this weekend? If not, why don't you come by the house? Caden has been saying that he wants to see his grandma lately.
Is that right? Well, you tell that little darling boy that his grandma is on her way.
With no husband, no parents, no siblings, and no children to support her, Colleen was left with no choice but to look for work and live on her own. However, between her age, her criminal record, and her horrid personality, she has been having a pretty hard time finding a place to take her on for a full-time position. Due to her unstable work situation, she also couldn't find an apartment that would rent to her without a guarantor. So, she had to take whatever job she could that also provided employee housing. In her case, that was a small motel in the outskirts of town. It's a small motel, but she was the only employee, meaning she had to get up early every morning, stay up late every night, and be on call practically 24/7. She didn't even work that hard before quitting after having Caden, so the sudden rush of difficult work was a real shock to her system. Also, her boss was not exactly the easiest to work with. In the end, she just couldn't handle it, so one night she just up and left without saying a word to anyone. After that, she went back to doing anything she could to make money. If there was a now hiring sign in the window, she applied. Her employment difficulties continued. However, she had to take on debt to make ends meet. And once she was no longer able to make payments on that debt, she vanished. I don't know what happened to her after that. As for me, I'm currently enjoying every day of life with my husband and Caden. Colleen vanishing was actually a blessing in disguise for us, because that made it easier for us to officially adopt Caden as our son. We would have had to spend thousands of dollars and probably years in court to take custody away from her otherwise. And as for my parents, the apartment we rented for them while we looked for more permanent accommodations for them was catered toward seniors. They had a 24-hour support network and enjoyed living around other people of their own age group. They enjoyed it so much, in fact, that they told us we could stop looking for a new place. They liked it just fine where they were. Now that things have settled down around here, I'd like to use my newfound free time to support my family to the best of my ability.
All right, Granny, listen up. I need money and I need it now. Wire $30,000 into my bank account by the end of the day. And no, I am not asking you for money. I am demanding that you do as I say. My goodness, is this one of those newfound wire fraud schemes? Back in my day, you types would butter up your targets with praise and promises of hitting it rich. But now you're just going straight to threats? It would make me nostalgic for the days I would get emails from the deposed Nigerian prince. What's this? Oh, it's actually my estranged daughter, Mary. To what do I owe the pleasure this fine day? The pleasure is all yours. Now cut the jib-jab and let's get down to business. You've got $30,000 on your hands right now that you can send me, don't you? As a matter of fact, I do not have that much in liquid assets. And even if I did have the means and desire to give in to your demands, I wouldn't do so unless I knew what you needed it for. Tell me, what kind of pyramid scheme have you gone and gotten yourself tangled up in? Pyramid scheme? Yeah, sure, whatever. I got caught up in a massive pyramid scheme or something and need money, so hurry up and send it as soon as possible. Oh dear, that's terrible. In that case, you are likely the victim of a crime, so you should be calling the police. Is someone blackmailing you? Are they in the room right now? Should I call the police in your place? Oh, would you just shut up already? God, you are such an annoying old hag. I don't even know what a pyramid scheme is. I just need $30,000 for myself, okay? So just shut up and send me the money. I already told you, Mary, not until I hear what you need it for. I must say you're not taking the sort of attitude one usually takes when begging another person for money. And really, $30,000? You can't possibly expect me to part with that much money on a whim like this. I don't have to explain myself to you. All you need to know is that I need money now. Giving me money is the only thing you're good for anyway, so just shut up and do your job. My job, is it now? Seriously? How old are you now? In any case, you're far too old to be talking to me like that. You were the one who made the decision to go and live with your father, and if this is what he's done to you, I can't help but be concerned for your future. I don't need your concern. I need your money. Like, for real, all you are is some dried-up old hag who got kicked to the curb by her husband. You should be more concerned for yourself than you are for me. Not only that, you aren't even enough of a woman to keep Dad satisfied. He needed to have a side girl to give him the attention you wouldn't. How pathetic. You can't blame him either, can you? I mean, you're 10 whole years older than him. I'm honestly surprised that Dad put up with you as long as he did. Uh-huh. Is this the reason you contacted me today? To insult me? I understand that you and your father hate my guts, but don't you think it's high time the two of you got over your hatred for me and started living your own lives? I mean, how long are you going to keep this up? Are you going to come to my funeral just to spit on my grave? Trust me, your funeral can't come soon enough. But no, I didn't text you because I wanted to chat. Then why? I already told you why. The money. You're gonna send me $30,000 before the end of the night. And no is not an option for you. Ugly old granny or not, you're still my mom. Not anymore, I'm not. I quit. What? What are you saying? You can't quit being my mom. Can't I? I've been divorced from your father for years. And when we got divorced, I voluntarily gave him full custody of you. I honestly don't care if you call me granny, hag, or whatever foul thing you can come up with, but I would prefer if you would stop calling me your mother. The only thing connecting us anymore is a little tiny bit of DNA. You only contact me when you feel like using me again. Consider this my resignation. I am not your mother anymore. So please don't even contact me again. My life has gotten so much better ever since I got rid of you two. Don't ruin my newfound happiness by injecting yourselves back into my life. I don't think so. I'm not going to let you stop being my mom when it's convenient for you. It took you more than 2 minutes to address me as your mother in this conversation. And that was only to try and guilt me into giving you money. I know that you hate me and rarely have anything to say to me other than insults. But I was still a bit excited to see a notification on my phone that you had texted me for the first time in ages. But when I opened it up, you were just insulting me and demanding an insane sum of money. What's wrong with you anyway? I don't care if you're my biological daughter. You are absolutely nothing to me. You're less than a stranger. So if you're looking for charity, inquire elsewhere. Please, Mom, don't say that to me. You're the only one who can help me now. I need you, Mom. I really, really, really need the $30,000. If I don't get it, I don't think I'll be able to go on living anymore. Oh, goodness gracious, that's certainly a change in tone for you, isn't it? Up until now, you were throwing all sorts of nasty insults at me. But now you're suddenly calling me Mom and begging for my help? Sorry, Mary, but frankly, the way you speak to me doesn't really mean anything to me anymore. You could do nothing but shower me with compliments, and I still wouldn't give you what you asked for. Thanks to you, I've completely shut down all my maternal instincts. If you're that desperate for help, go and see if your father will help you. That man has done nothing but fill your head with all sorts of evil lies about me. He's the reason that you've come to treat me like this. And even once you had the ability to discern right from wrong, truth from lies, you still sided with him. You've made your choice, Mary. Now you're just going to have to live with it.
Come on, why are you being like this? You know just as well as I do that Dad doesn't make that much money. But in spite of all that, he still took care of me from the time he ditched you to the day I started living on my own. Sacrificed everything for me, and what did you do? Absolutely nothing, that's what. You're nothing but a bitter old cheapskate.
Yes, I'm not surprised at all that that's what he's told you about me. Allow me the pleasure of disillusioning you now. You never asked me, so I never had the chance to tell you, but your father wasn't the one paying for everything. I was.
What? What are you talking about?
You just said it yourself, didn't you? Your father doesn't have much of an income to speak of. That's why I was paying child support to him. Year after year, month after month, I never missed a single payment. But too bad for him, you're now an adult and can live on your own. That means that he can't extract any more money out of me. I was paying him a pretty substantial amount, so if he's already running into trouble, I'll bet you anything that he had been giving you just the bare minimum and spending the lion's share of it on himself.
What the? You're serious, aren't you? You really were sending Dad money all those years? But if that's true, you're telling me that I was putting up with cheap clothes, cheap food, cheap gifts, cheap everything for nothing? Dad was just spending it all on himself while just leaving behind the scraps for me to live on?
Yep, that sounds just like your father. But as I've already said, that's not my problem anymore, and it hasn't been for some time. If you have any issues with your father now that you know the truth, take it up with him. I've already been putting up with your vitriol for more than long enough. I don't need to waste any more of my life listening to you complain.
This is insane. Like, everything that I thought was true was a lie. He told me that I should never believe a word you say because you were just going to lie to me to get to him. And with money stuff, he always told me that he was paying for all my living expenses. So if I needed spending money, I should ask you for it. The only spending money I've ever gotten was from you.
I was wondering why you would only ever text me once a month to insult me and demand more money. Back then it was usually under $100 that you asked me for, though. I only kept giving you an allowance because I felt like it was the bare minimum that I could do as your mother to support you, and now I've fulfilled my duties. You're going to have to take care of yourself from now on.
You're kidding me.
You're an adult, Mary. You think other parents continue to finance their children's lifestyle after they leave the house? I've done more than enough for you already.
This is just too insane to be true. Like, I used to think Dad was great for protecting me from you, but now you're telling me that he's actually just a money-grubbing loser?
That's a good way of putting it, yes. And now you know the truth, so what you do with it is up to you. I no longer have any feelings for either of you, so I think this is a good opportunity for us to put an end to our communications. We don't have anything more to talk about, so I don't want you talking to me again.
Hold it! I still need the $30,000! Please, I'm begging you. I swear to God, this is the last thing I'll ever ask you for. You can do that for me, right?
If you need that much money so suddenly, then I'm sure you must be in deep trouble. But that's your issue, not mine. I'd rather that you didn't drag me into whatever mess you're in.
Please, Mom, please! It's just $30,000!
If you're unable to pay it yourself, then it seems that you've gotten in over your head. And since you're not even going to tell me what you need it for, then it must be something embarrassing. And I'm not going to bail you out, but I will give you some advice. Don't make the same mistake.
For real, Carol, really? You went and blabbed to Mary, didn't you? Thanks to you, now she knows that I was lying about getting money from you. I've never seen her that mad in my life. This has totally ruined my day. So what's your problem, huh? Haven't you done enough to humiliate me? You're not going to be satisfied until even my own daughter hates me? I gave you explicit instructions never to talk to her. Are you trying to rekindle your mother-daughter relationship this late in the game? What's even the point?
That's not what this is about at all. That girl has been nothing but trouble to me ever since even before I left you. I haven't once gone out of my way to talk to her. She's the only one who keeps coming to me, and that's exactly what happened earlier today. She texted me out of the blue and said things that were just plain wrong. So what else could I do but tell her the truth?
You could have said nothing, or lied, anything but go and tell her everything. Good God, Carol, you may have just completely trashed her perception of me as her father. Is that what you were trying to do?
You said it yourself. What would the point be this late in the game? She asked a question, I answered her. It's that simple.
Yeah, well, I'm glad it was simple for you. You just made things way more complicated for me. She just came to me demanding I cough up 30 grand. What's the deal with that? It has to be because you weren't giving her enough of an allowance. And now she's come to shake me down for what you should have been giving her.
You really never change, do you, Doug? Have you forgotten that Mary is almost 30 years old right now? I haven't been giving her an allowance for more than a decade. In fact, I was under the impression that we were never going to speak to each other again. Until today, she hadn't even sent me so much as a happy birthday or Merry Christmas in ages. And now she suddenly comes around wanting $30,000. I suppose that when I turned her down, she went straight to you. I'll tell you the same thing I told her. This isn't my problem. Stop contacting me.
What, you think I want to be talking to you? Don't think I forgot about what you did to me when we divorced. You took everything you could from me. You left me with nothing. I hate your guts. I would never think to talk to you again unless I had a really good reason to do so. All you needed to do was shut your big fat old granny mouth and cough up the cash she asked you for. That's all you're good for anyway. All you did for her was send money. You completely abandoned your motherly duties. If you think money is an acceptable alternative to being a mother, then you shouldn't have any problems paying up now.
You know, you two really are a lot alike, you know that? If you wanted me to be a part of her life, then why did you do your best to keep me out of her life? You wanted to go and run off with another woman, but you had one problem. Your daughter liked you too much. So you ripped her out of my arms, took child support payments from me, and went and spent it all on food and drink for yourself while Mary starved.
And what makes you think that?
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah, you got me. That's why I went ahead and convinced her that you were some kind of wicked witch who abandoned her. I was raking it in for years and she never even suspected a thing.
I'd say the amount of money I took from you during the divorce far outweighs the money I've paid to you since then. So perhaps raking it in is a bit of an overstatement. But regardless of what happened between us, Mary is still my daughter. I was sad to lose custody, but knowing you, sharing custody would have been an utter nightmare. I figured the best thing to do was to support her as best I could, and then to cut ties completely once she turned 18. And it was working for a while. Thanks to your lies, she thoroughly hates me. And since I sent quite a bit of money your way to support her, I'd say I fulfilled my responsibilities just fine.
Then you still have that same responsibility right now. She wants 30 grand and you're gonna give it to her. You would not believe the temper tantrum she's throwing right now. She's all like, my life is ruined thanks to you. It's all your fault. She screamed at me so loud over the phone, my ears still hurt.
Oh, you poor thing. You're finally getting some comeuppance for your lies. You can drop the victim act, Doug. Between the two of us, I'm the one with far more reason to cry foul. I've given you more money than I needed to, and you wasted it all on yourself. Then one day, Mary comes along insulting me and demanding $30,000 for some unknown reason. After I turned her down, because of course I did, now my creep of an ex-husband is spewing vitriol at me. What do you want from me, Doug? I thought I had washed my hands of you.
What I want from you is to get Mary off my case. Give her the freaking money. I know you've got plenty of money. You do nothing but work and you've got no husband or kids to support.
I'm not giving one more cent of my hard-earned money to either of you. I think it's finally time you dropped the act and showed Mary what you really are. It's all over for you anyway. You're not going to get your way with me anymore. And since Mary's an adult now, you can't siphon any more money from her either. So what do you have to gain from projecting this false image of a responsible, caring father?
What do you think I am, some heartless villain? There's more to life than money.
That doesn't have much meaning coming from you.
Come on, don't be such a snot.
Okay, then tell me, what's in it for you to keep up a relationship with Mary besides money?
Well, Mary's still young, isn't she? She'll probably get married soon and have grandchildren. I wouldn't want to miss out on seeing my own grandchildren.
Uh-huh. And when birthdays and Christmas roll around?
Then I'll send you the bill for their presents.
You are so predictable. You know, you just reminded me of something very important, Doug.
Huh? I did? What's that?
You're quite possibly the lowest form of life on the planet. You haven't messaged me for years, so I guess I had forgotten to block you, a mistake which I will be remedying right now.
Mom, I really need that money now. When are you going to send it to me? You're gonna send me the money, right? I'm in big trouble. Like, crazy big trouble.
I made myself crystal clear yesterday, Mary. I am done with you. Don't come around asking me for help anymore. You won't get it.
But you don't understand. I actually owe some people some money. A lot of money, actually. And I have to pay them back today or else. I swear to God that I'll pay you back. So could you at least lend me some money?
I had a feeling that's what was going on. There's no other reason you could need such a large amount of money so suddenly. Tell me, what did you spend the money on?
Well, I gave it to my boyfriend.
Your boyfriend? Why?
He told me that his mom was sick and he needed the money for an operation. He said it was a life or death situation, so he absolutely had to have the money right away. I didn't have it, and I couldn't take out a loan from a bank so suddenly, so he introduced me to some friends of his, and I borrowed it from them.
And you didn't find that suspicious at all?
Huh? What do you mean?
Unbelievable. You really are your father's daughter. He kept going to bars by himself even after we got married to hit on other women. Some of them pulled the same scheme on him that your boyfriend pulled on you. Once I got pregnant with you, he did clean up a bit, for a while. But then one day he came to me saying that he had met the love of his life or some other ridiculous thing. I suppose you would say that's my fault for being 10 years older than he is.
Did Dad really do that? But you never said anything like that to me when I was a kid. You never even complained about him.
It's not exactly something you talk to a child about. In spite of his unscrupulousness, he still was your father after all. And also, there's the simple fact that he was the man I chose to be my husband. I figured I had made my bed, so now I needed to lie in it.
But Dad was always complaining about you. Like how old you were and your skin was starting to sag, your hair had lost its sheen, and you had bags under your eyes. He was constantly mocking you.
You haven't had any experience with this yourself yet, but pregnancy and childbirth take a heavy toll on a woman's body. Once you have a child, it's practically impossible to go back to the way you looked before. Then there's the matter of him being a complete failure at taking care of you. I can't stress this enough. I genuinely could not trust him to take care of you. That fool was trying to give you warm milk mixed with honey before you were even 6 months old. So I had to do practically everything by myself while still working. That meant late nights, early mornings, and precious little sleep. Really, though, you were born at a time when simple things like that could be looked up on the internet, but that man couldn't be bothered. All he had to do was type in, "Should I give honey to an infant?" and he would have had his answer. But he did stop going to bars, which I was grateful for, and he did seem like he enjoyed being with you.
This is an awful lot to take in. So you're saying that Dad got the way he is now once I was a little older?
That's right. Once you were out of diapers, he went right back to the bars and started seeing other women behind my back. That was when I realized that your father was a lost cause. Also, since you were old enough to talk, that meant you were old enough for him to tell you lies about me. I got tired of the constant mistreatment I had to deal with and decided to get my own apartment.
But Mom, how did you deal with all of that? Like, you never seemed unhappy with Dad or anything. Why didn't you tell me that Dad was lying about you?
Because if there's one thing that man is skilled at, it's lying. He already had you thoroughly convinced that I was the problem in the relationship. You never would have believed me even if I told you. In fact, you seemed to quite enjoy talking with your father about how awful I was. If I were to break through that web of deceit, it would inevitably have become a shouting match between us in front of you. Not only would that not have resolved our differences, it would have made life at home a living hell for you. I didn't want you to have to live with seeing your parents arguing with each other every day. I had to deal with that when I was growing up, and I always wished that my parents would have broken up. At least that way I could live in peace and quiet. And so that's what I did for you. As for whether that was the right call, I honestly can't say. Life with both of your parents and constant fighting, or life with only your lying, cheating father. To tell you the truth, I've been wondering which would have been better for you ever since the day I decided to leave your father.
Wow, I had no idea. You're making it sound like you were thinking about my best interests this entire time. You kept on paying him child support and giving me an allowance for all those years? All the while I was treating you terribly and never listened to a word you said. I always just believed whatever Dad told me about you. And then you let him have a daughter that you had worked so hard to raise and protect from the time I was born, all because you thought it was what would be best for me? You were really thinking about me the whole time.
I was, Mary. You were my daughter. What else was I to do?
But that's not even the worst part. The worst part is that you were the only one who was really concerned about my well-being. Dad only used me as a tool to extract money from you, but I still took his side and treated you just as bad as he always did.
I wish I could have had this conversation so much sooner, but yes, that's all true. So have you realized the error of your ways? Your credulousness and unwillingness to hear the other side of the story has now resulted in you digging yourself into a very, very deep hole. Not only that, you've also personally alienated the only person who would have been willing to pull you out.
Yeah, I get it now, Mom. I'm really sorry for everything. I had no idea how much you cared about me.
Sadly, you're far too late in having this epiphany. I won't be forgiving you. However, I did spend an incredible amount of time, effort, and money into raising you, so I do hope that you'll take better care of yourself from now on. Don't make my investment in you go entirely to waste.
I will, Mom. I'm never going to do anything to disappoint you again. But about the money, I really, really need that $30,000. If I don't get it today, I don't know what's going to happen to me.
I'll bet you're quite terrified right now. I would be too if I were in your position. But how did you get into this position in the first place? You made a long series of bad decisions because you incorrectly assumed that someone who you treated terribly would always be there to help you. But that person is long, long gone. I'm not going to help you. You got yourself into this mess, and you're going to have to find some way to get yourself out. Easily, she kept sending message after message begging me for the money she needed. Needless to say, I didn't budge from my position. I kept on telling her no. Eventually, she realized that she was utterly powerless to undo the damage she did over the years with her hateful words and actions. All I can hope is that this was a big enough shock to get her to turn her life around. By the way, about the man she referred to as her boyfriend, as I expected, he was a professional fraudster. He had done the exact same thing he did to Mary to multiple other women. He used his charm to hook them in and then threw them over to the loan sharks he was in cahoots with. It turned into a pretty big story. They had a lengthy special report about it on the local news. Some of the victims appeared with blurred faces and altered voices to tell their story. I recognized which one was Mary right away. They also reported that the man in question was only 20 years old. To think, after Mary gave me all that grief about marrying a man 10 years younger than me, she went and did the exact same thing. I couldn't help but laugh when I heard. I won't be speaking to her ever again, but I genuinely hope that she turns her life around.
Hey, Natalie. I've been waiting for quite a while now. Could you please unlock the door and let me in?
No.
I see, and why not?
I don't owe you any explanations. I think you don't quite understand what the situation is. This is not your house. Do you really not get that?
Yes, Natalie, I know that this is not my house, but I talked to your mom and dad about this for quite some time, and they both gave me permission to live here.
Oh yeah, so what? I didn't give you permission. This isn't just their house, it's my house too. What gives you the right to barge your way into my house and start living here without asking me?
I mean, simply put, because it's not your call.
There you go again, with that stuck-up, pompous attitude of yours. I don't care if you're pregnant or whatever. Having to look at your face every day makes me sick. Think about it from my perspective. I have to deal with a complete stranger living in my house every single day. We just moved into this awesome new house a little while ago, and I already have to share it with some weirdo woman?
I understand that you're not happy with me living here, but if it bothers you that much, why don't you just leave, Natalie? You're 27 years old, and yet I don't think you've had a single job in all the time I've known you. Whenever you need spending money, you always just beg your parents for more.
Shut up! You don't get to criticize me in my own house. And what gives you the right to tell me I'm taking advantage of my parents? You're doing the exact same thing.
No, I'm not.
If you want someone to wait on you hand and foot while you're pregnant, go and have your own parents do that.
Natalie, you know about my parents.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're both dead. They got sick and died when you were just a kid. My bad, I must have forgot. But just because your parents kicked the bucket doesn't mean my parents are responsible for you now.
Why are you doing this?
You know, I can't help but notice how many people seem to die just by being around you. I bet it's your fault that my brother died in that car crash.
What?
You heard me. You're a curse, Sarah. All you've ever done your whole life is bring sorrow and misery to everyone in your life. What's the matter? Weren't you satisfied by killing your parents and my brother? Are you going to try to get me and my parents killed too?
You are saying absolutely terrible things to me right now, and you need to stop.
Uh-oh, I made the cursed lady angry. Are you going to send your curse onto me now? I better go and buy a lucky rabbit's foot and some holy water. So, how are you going to do me in, Sarah? You killed your parents with an illness, and my brother with an accident. Are you going to get me with a tornado or something?
You know what? Fine. Be that way. I'm moving out. I can't stand living with someone as mean-spirited as you any longer. All the stress you're causing me can't be good for my baby.
Like I care. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't actually my brother's kid inside you right now.
Oh my God, Natalie. Is there no low that you won't stoop to?
Uh-oh, did I strike a nerve? Sounds to me like you're feeling guilty about something. Anything you want to confess, Sarah?
I'm done talking with you. Just let me come in and grab my coat and wallet, and I'll be out of your way.
And why should I?
You know why. When you threw me out of the house, all I had was my phone. It's getting colder outside, and I'm not dressed for the weather.
Oh yeah, sounds like your problem, not mine. I don't want you to set foot in this house ever again.
All right, whatever. Just bring them to me then.
No!
Come on, why won't you just bring them to me?
Because they're not yours anymore. They're mine now.
What are you talking about?
I've been thinking about this for a while, but this coat is absolutely adorable. This is a really good brand, and it looks way better on me than it does on you. If this coat could talk, it would be begging me not to let you have it.
Do you realize what you're saying? You're admitting to stealing my things.
Shut up, you filthy, rotten trespasser.
What? Trespasser?
Yeah, this is my house, so everything inside of it is mine. That includes this coat, and this wallet, and all the money inside it. Oh, but don't worry, I'll save you the trouble of packing up all the rest of your stuff.
What are you gonna do with it?
Garbage day is tomorrow. I'll just toss it all down the side of the road for you. You don't need to thank me, it's my pleasure.
You're something else, you know that?
Congratulations, Sarah. As of today, you are officially homeless. Woohoo! I think the homeless life will suit a miserable parasite like yourself just perfectly, actually. Now, get off my property and never show your face around here again.
Fine, suit yourself. Oh, and Natalie, one last thing. Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck with what? You're the one that's gonna need luck, not me.
Hello, Greg. Do you have a minute?
Of course. What can I do for you, dear?
It's kind of a long story. I'm gonna send you a few screenshots. Would you mind taking a look at them for me?
Screenshots? Sure, that shouldn't be a problem. Send them right over. Merciful heavens, I can't believe this! My Natalie actually said all these terrible things to you?
She did, yeah. I'm pretty sure she's been planning this for some time. She just waited until you and your wife were out of the house to pull the trigger. I felt bad about going to you with this, like I was a little kid tattling to the teacher. But after the things she said to me, I just couldn't remain silent.
Sarah, you did the right thing. Thank you so much for telling me about this. How are you doing, dear? Are you all right? If you need money or anything else, let me know and I'll bring it right over.
Thanks for that, Greg, but I'm all right. I had a bank app on my phone that let me withdraw some cash. I'm taking it easy in a hotel room right now.
I see. Well, in any case, I'm glad to hear you're doing fine. My goodness, a pregnant woman like yourself being thrown out into the cold? We're all incredibly fortunate something even worse didn't happen to you. I'm so terribly sorry for what Natalie did to you.
Please, Greg, don't apologize. You didn't do anything wrong. I mean, in all seriousness, I do sort of understand where Natalie was coming from. Granted, she went about expressing it in the absolute worst way possible. But to her, I sort of am nothing but a complete stranger.
Don't say such ridiculous things, Sarah.
What do you mean?
You're not a complete stranger to any of us. You're our dear family. You know that both my wife and I consider you to be every bit our real daughter.
It means so much to hear you say that. You two have taken such good care of me over the years.
Don't worry about Natalie. I'm gonna take care of her. I've put up with all sorts of nonsense from her over the years, but this time she has gone too far.
Dad! Something's wrong with the door. Do something.
What's wrong with it exactly?
It won't open.
Oh, is that all? I'm glad to hear the door is functioning properly.
What? How is it functioning properly if my key doesn't work?
Because I had the locks changed on the house while you were out.
You what? Why would you do that?
Because that was the first and most important step in kicking you out of the house.
No way. You're kicking me out of the house? I don't understand. Why are you gonna kick me out of the house, Dad?
I think you know why. Do I need to remind you about the way you treated Sarah a few days ago?
No way. You're kidding me. That witch actually went and tattled on me already? I don't believe this. I knew she was trash, but I had no idea she was this trashy.
You are in no position whatsoever to be calling anyone else trashy, least of all Sarah.
Hold on. What are you talking about? I haven't done anything trashy. I haven't done anything wrong at all. I'm innocent. It's all Sarah's fault. She's the one who's in the wrong, not me. I don't know what that woman has been telling you, but you can ignore all of it. All she's doing is telling you a bunch of lies to try and take me down.
I would say that this was an example of the pot calling the kettle black, but in this case it's actually more like the pot calling the snow black. I know that you're lying, Natalie. Sarah already sent me all of the texts that you sent her. I read through all of them, and I must say I am utterly appalled at your behavior.
What? She showed you my private text to her? That's an invasion of privacy. I can't imagine doing something so spiteful and cruel to another person.
You know what they say about taking the speck of dust out of another's eye while you have a log in your own? I'm running out of metaphors, Natalie. You need to come to your senses right now.
You don't understand, though. This is all a misunderstanding.
Then tell me what I'm not understanding correctly. What have I missed?
Well, it's a fake. Yeah, the texts she sent you were all fakes. She used AI or something to make them. See? I told you it's all a lie.
If you're going to make up a cover story, could you at least tell one that doesn't contradict what you just told me? You said that she tattled on you. That means she's telling the truth by your own admission.
Come on, Dad. What's going on with you? Why would you believe that awful woman over me? She's not our family. I'm your real daughter.
That utterly atrocious statement right there is your answer.
Wait, what? Huh? What do you mean?
Sarah is and forever will be a part of this family. And the things you've said and done to Sarah while she's been with us, and especially over the last few days, have been completely unacceptable. You have entirely lost my trust.
What? You're out of your mind. That woman isn't part of a family. She's nothing to us at all. She was only ever connected to us because she was married to Jack, and he's dead now. Sure, she says she's pregnant with Jack's kid, but how do we know she's telling the truth? I mean, are you even sure she's really pregnant? And if you ask me, I don't believe that it's Jack's kid in the first place. So how could you say that a lying, cheating woman like her is part of our family?
Where did I go wrong with you? How on earth did you grow up to be this way? You're not just insulting Sarah right now, Natalie. You're also besmirching Jack's memory. He's the one who chose her to be his wife.
That woman has been parading herself around my house like she owns the place. That's the bigger insult to Jack's memory. She's spreading her filth all through our family's house. When are you going to wake up and realize how horrible she is, Dad?
Well, it's all very clear to me now. I understand everything.
Finally. Seriously, Dad, you should have just believed me right away. Now hurry up and unlock the door, okay?
That isn't what I meant. I'm saying that I understand how you became so awful now. I obviously spoiled you. I gave you everything you ever wanted, no matter how unreasonable. I should have kicked you out of my house a long, long time ago.
Would you stop joking around, Dad? Hurry up and open the door. Let me in. It's freaking freezing out here.
You have a coat on, don't you? You should be glad for that. When you threw Sarah out of the house, she didn't have anything on but a long-sleeved t-shirt.
I already told you. That was her fault. She was the one who was out of line.
I'm done with this conversation. There's nothing more that I can say to you that hasn't been said already. Nothing will ever be enough to make you see that you're in the wrong. As of this day, I am disowning you as my daughter. Get off my property and never show your face around here again.
Dad, no! You can't do this! Please! Hey, you! This is your fault! Do something about it!
Do what? And about what?
Don't give me that. You know what's going on. I just got kicked out of my own house thanks to you. Why is this happening to me? You're the one that should be kicked out. It's all your fault, everything. It's all your fault, so you gotta fix this.
I don't know, Natalie. I don't really see why I should do anything for you.
Well, for starters, it's freezing outside. I want to go back inside.
If you're cold, then might I suggest that you give up waiting outside your house? Try going to one of the stores nearby and warming up for a while. After that, well, there's really only one thing you can do.
What? What is it? What can I do?
You can heed your father's parting demand and never show your face around him again.
Wait a second, how do you know what my dad said to me?
Because he just came and showed me your entire conversation. Unlike you, I'm actually inside the house right now.
What? You're in my house. But you can't be in my house. I kicked you out.
And your dad unkicked me, and now he's kicking you out instead. We were just having a bit of tea together in the kitchen. We've been talking about how much you annoyed us all afternoon. It seems like your terrible personality isn't a recent development either. Your dad says you've been this way ever since you were a kid.
This can't be happening. I don't understand. This is my house. Why am I getting kicked out but you're not?
Well, before I answer that question, I think there's a bigger issue we need to address first.
What could possibly be bigger than me getting kicked out of my own house?
See, that's just the thing. It's not your house.
Okay, fine. My family's house. Same thing.
You're right in a way, and wrong in a very big way. It's not your family's house per se. It's not even your parents' house. It's mine.
What? What are you talking about? It's not your house. There's no way. I mean, my mom and dad moved in there and everything.
I guess I should be more precise. That is the house Jack and I were going to live in together. We designed it together from the ground up. But well, Jack is gone now. It's far too big for just one woman to live there by herself, so I invited your parents to live with me and they accepted. Jack and I were always planning to have them move in with us once they got too old to live on their own anyway. So a lot of the house is designed with having elderly residents in mind. Oh, and one more thing. Just so we're clear, the invitation Jack and I extended to your parents did not include you. The only people who were going to live there were Jack, me, your parents, and our children. So there never was a place for you in that house.
What the?
Seriously, you've got some nerve, Natalie. Barging into someone else's house and acting like you own the place. I don't recall giving you my permission to live there.
Hold on, just 1 second. This is all news to me. I've never heard a thing about any of this.
Every single time we had a family conference, you just said, "This is boring, I'm going to my room." If you had simply stayed in the living room and listened to us talking, you would have known everything.
But I had no idea that it was going to concern me. You should have told me it was important and convinced me to stay.
Well, that's just the thing. It didn't really concern you. You weren't going to be living in the house with us after all.
No way.
And by the way, you called me a miserable parasite, didn't you? It's odd that you would say that about me, considering the fact that I actually have a job. I'm on maternity leave right now, but I'm the one who's paying the mortgage on the house.
Wait, you were really doing that for us?
Oh my goodness. What was that? You recognize that I was doing something kind for you? That's quite the change in attitude from you.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, don't worry. I was just making fun of you. I neither expect nor want any words of appreciation from you. I mean, I never even really thought of you as my sister in the first place.
Hey, why would you say that to me?
What do you mean, why? I said it because that's how I honestly feel. You've been kind of a total B word to me since the day we met. Not to mention the way you've treated me since you moved in with me without my permission.
But that's just because I didn't know the house was really yours. I'm not that much of an idiot. If I knew it was yours and you were letting us live there, I never would have tried to kick you out. You had a responsibility to tell me the truth about the house, so it's your fault that I was out of the loop. So let me back inside the house.
After everything that's happened, you're still trying to pass the buck. You really are a lost case, Natalie.
Come on, Sarah, please. Open up the door and let me in. It's really, really cold outside.
No.
Why not? Are you really gonna kick me out? Like, for real? I don't believe this.
You were really trying to kick me out, for real, remember?
Well, yeah, but what am I supposed to do from now on? Where am I gonna live? How am I gonna get by?
I don't know. Sounds like your problem, not mine.
You really are heartless, you know that? I'm out here freezing to death and you're just like, not my problem?
Scroll up a ways in our text history, Natalie. Let me know when you see it.
Ugh.
Found it, didn't you? Yep, those are the exact same words you said to me. Oh, and one more thing. There was one other thing you said to me that really hurt. Like, I will never, ever forget it for as long as I live. And now I finally have the chance to throw it right back at you.
What is it? Just say it and get it over with.
I think the homeless life will suit a miserable parasite like yourself just perfectly, actually. Really, Natalie? Could you give it a rest?
Give what a rest?
Don't give me that. You took our garbage from the dumpster and threw it all over the yard again.
What makes you think it was me? Got any evidence?
There's no one else in the world who would do it but you. There's also the matter of the graffiti you painted on our wall the other day.
There you go again, making another baseless allegation against me.
Right. I have to hand it to you, Natalie. You're really, really committed to the bit. Or perhaps I should say, you should be committed. You're too big of a danger to both society and yourself to have you running free like this.
Ha! I'm the insane one. I'm the only person in this family who's still seeing clearly. And don't think I've forgiven you for what you did. You took everything away from me. I swear, as God is my witness, I will get my revenge on you. And my idiot parents too. You're all going down.
Sure we are. You know, if you were going to have a change of heart, repent of your ill deeds, and ask for my forgiveness, I wouldn't be entirely opposed to helping you out.
What do I have to repent for? Nothing, that's what. I haven't done anything wrong, so I don't know what you want me to say I'm sorry for. You should be apologizing to me.
I'll take your position into consideration. So, what's it gonna be?
Huh? What's what gonna be?
Your revenge. What did you have in mind?
What? Do you want me to ruin the surprise? No, I think I'd rather leave you on the edge of your seat, wondering what's coming your way. Let me see. You're still pregnant now, aren't you? Maybe I might just happen to be walking behind you on a set of stairs one day. And maybe I might just slip and fall. Get the picture?
Yeah, you're talking about trying to murder me and my baby? That's no laughing matter.
I'm cracking up though.
So that's your threat, is it? And what are your demands? What will it take for you to relent on your request for vengeance?
If you ever think I'm gonna relent, then you've got another thing coming.
You sure about that? I think you'd rather not spend the rest of your life in a jail cell, even if you're homeless and miserable.
Well, yeah, I prefer not to go to jail.
And for good reason. Bad things happen to uppity little girls like you in jail. Wouldn't you rather be living in a big, beautiful, comfortable house like mine? The bath on the first floor has a built-in jacuzzi and everything.
Yeah, that does sound pretty nice, actually. I'll tell you what, Sarah. If you give the house to me, then I'll forgive you for kicking me out.
I see. All right, you win. I'll let you have the house.
Really? Like, really?
Sure. Are you sure that's all you want, though?
What do you mean? That house is pretty nice.
Yeah, but it's just a house. You'll never be able to afford the rent, utilities, taxes, etc.
Yeah, good point. In that case, you'll also have to give me a monthly allowance of $1,000.
$1,000? Is that all you want?
Fine, make it $2,000 then.
Okay, $2,000 it is. I think I can manage to come up with that much.
Are you, like, being for real right now? Like, you're really gonna give me the house and money, right?
If that's what it's gonna take to get you to keep your hands off me and my child, you'll keep that promise, right?
Yeah, sure I will.
In that case, I'll definitely be willing to give you that much.
Oh my god, really? Awesome! Well, I had no idea it would be this easy to get through to you.
I'm just full of surprises, aren't I? Okay, well, I'll have to go and get all the paperwork ready to sign the house over to you. I'll talk to you again in a few days.
I'm looking forward to it. Hey, I got something in the mail and I'm not really sure what to think about it.
Can you be more descriptive than something?
Well, it looks like it's from a bank or something.
Uh-huh. Go on. What does it say?
It says that they want me to pay them a little over $1,000. It's not the first time I got one of these either. I just assumed they were some kind of fraud. You know, like the whole deposed Nigerian prince thing. So I ignored them up until now, but they keep on coming.
A little over $1,000, you say? That's the mortgage, I'll bet.
The mortgage?
Yeah, the monthly payments to the bank for the money used to buy the house. You haven't been paying it?
Why do I have to pay it?
Who else but you would have to pay it? You're the owner of the house now. That means it falls to you to make the payments on the mortgage.
You have got to be kidding me. You mean you haven't been paying it?
Why would I have to pay the mortgage on your house? It doesn't make any sense. Besides, it was clearly written on the contract that you signed when I gave you the house that you would be responsible for paying it. You did read the contract, didn't you?
I had no reason to. I was getting a freaking house for free.
I guess that makes sense. You couldn't even pay attention long enough to read the letters the bank has been sending you.
Stop mocking me and help me. What am I supposed to do with this?
Isn't it obvious? Pay the bill.
What do you mean, like each month? But that's going to cost me more than half of the allowance you're giving me.
Then get a job.
Not a chance. Don't forget that this was your fault. Why should I have to get a job?
It doesn't really matter whose fault that was. You should get a job anyway.
No one asked you for your advice, so stop lecturing me and take care of this bill for me.
No.
Why not? It's your fault the bank is asking me for money.
Ask any impartial third party whose fault they think it is. They'll say it's yours.
What's up with this attitude all of a sudden? Have you forgotten what's going to happen to you if you tick me off too much?
Refresh my memory.
You're pretty close to your due date now, aren't you? It would sure be terrible to have an unfortunate accident right about now.
Ah, now I remember. You're threatening me. Haven't I given you enough already? I gave you my house and you're getting money every month.
Yeah, well, it's not enough. My demands have changed. I want you to pay the mortgage for me every month. And since you made me angry, I want an extra $1,000 per month. If you can do that, I'll let you go.
You'll let me go, will you?
Yeah, and you don't have a choice. If you don't want to give in to my demands, fine. But just know that if you turn me down, your kid's the one who's going to pay the price.
I see. Understood.
Again, stop all the kicking and screaming if you're just going to do as I say in the end. Now hurry up and send me the money.
Nah, I don't think I will.
What? But you just said you'd do it.
That's not what I said. I said understood.
But what is that supposed to mean?
It means that I can't take this anymore and I'm gonna call the police.
What? But why would you call the cops?
You know why. What you're doing is a crime.
You're nuts. I haven't committed any crimes. All I'm doing is what I need to do to survive.
Is that your defense? We'll see how well it holds up in court.
I don't want to go to court. I don't want to go to jail.
Well, if blackmail was your only offense, I doubt it would carry all that long of a sentence. Blackmail is a misdemeanor after all.
Yeah, I haven't done anything that bad. Just a little blackmail.
That's not all you did. You didn't just blackmail me. You used threats of violence to take my house and thousands of dollars from me. That's not just blackmail, that's extortion. A much more serious offense.
Is it?
Yeah, and there's basically zero chance you'll avoid a prison sentence.
Was this your plan all along? You were trying to get me to blackmail you?
Who, me? Entrap you into extorting me? Heavens no! I was terrified for my safety.
You did it on purpose. I won't let you get away with this.
Uh-oh. Are you going to threaten me again? All you're going to do at this point is give yourself a longer prison sentence. And besides, it's too late for you. There's nothing you can hold against me anymore.
What? What's that supposed to mean?
Given the weight of your crimes against me, I'll be able to get a restraining order against you for sure. And by the time you get out of prison, your parents and I will have already moved somewhere else. You'll never be able to find us or even contact us again.
No way.
You've caused us a lot of trouble and cost us a lot of money. But I think I can deal with a couple $1,000 I sent you if it means never having to see you again.
Sarah, wait. Are you serious about this? You're really gonna call the cops on me?
Yeah, of course.
You can't do that, though. I haven't done anything to deserve this.
Dear God, are you out of your mind? Yes, you have. I could maybe let it slide if you were focusing your ire on me. But then you went and threatened my baby. You're not gonna get away with that.
Get away with what? I already told you I didn't do anything wrong. This is all your fault.
Feel free to think that way, but I'm done with you now. It's like we're not even speaking the same language. Nothing I say gets through to you. I'll leave your fate up to the criminal justice system.
Wait, don't go. I get it, you win. It was all a lie. Just a joke that went a little too far. I mean, I never thought you would have taken me seriously. You actually thought I was gonna try and push you down the stairs or something? I was just teasing you, that's all. I'll tell you what, I'll even let you, Mom, and Dad come back and live with me. We can live together again, all four of us. Isn't that what you want? To go back to the way things were before?
You think I want to live with you after everything you've done to me?
Well, yeah, and why not? What's so bad about living with me anyway?
Everything. And you have a really bad habit of forgetting your own words. You were the one who said you were sick of living together with me.
Yeah, but that was before. Now I'm saying I want to live with you. You should be happy.
I am happy, though. I'm happy that you're going to go to jail for a very long time. And with that, I'm getting tired of talking to you.
Sarah, please.
You have no job, no friends, no life. You never even go with us when we visit your relatives. They all hate you just as much as we do, too. So you have absolutely no means to find us once we move. I suppose you could hire a private detective, if you had any money, that is. Once you get out of prison, your rap sheet is going to be longer than your work history. With your terrible personality and no work ethic, you'll never even get a job cleaning toilets. In other words, congratulations. As of today, you are officially homeless. Woo! Just as promised, I reported Natalie to the police. I kept a detailed archive of her text, which I presented to the police as evidence of her extortion scheme. Not only that, my mother and father-in-law also took my side and provided corroborating testimony. The result was just as I expected. Natalie got sentenced to hard time. I don't know if it was because there wasn't anything else interesting to report on at the time, but the local news even ran a lengthy report on Natalie's crimes against me. It's not like they did a full hour-long special on it or anything, but the segment they did on her went kind of viral on social media. And you know what they say, the internet is forever. So now Natalie doesn't just have a criminal record to worry about. She also has to face the shame of her crimes being known by everyone on the internet. My in-laws and I moved away, as I said, and we started our new life together. I gave birth to a healthy baby boy a short while later, and after talking to my in-laws about it, I decided to name him Jack Jr. I really couldn't ask for a better mother-in-law or father-in-law. They're very helpful with both taking care of Jack Jr. and the housework. When Jack died, I was afraid I'd never be happy again. But now, I don't know if I'll ever feel sad again.